Welcome. Now we'll start switch reluctance motor drives. So, switch reluctance motor drive is a variable reluctance drive. So, what is that variable reluctance machine? That is denoted as VRM. Variable reluctance machine has double saliency. It has saliency on the stator as well as rotor, double saliency. So, classifications of types are like this. One is switch reluctance motor, SRM, it is a double saliency motor. Other one is stepper motor. Both have saliency on the stator as well as rotor. So, the reluctance varies when the rotor rotates, the reluctance varies cyclically. So, they are variable reluctance machines or double reluctance machines. So, coming to stepper motor is a digital motor and moves by fixed step angle with a digital pulse. It is widely used in computer peripheral type applications like computer printers, line printers, etc. But stepper motor is not suitable for variable speed application to drive a load at a particular speed. So, it is not stepper motor is not suitable for variable speed application, but switch reluctance motor can be used for variable speed application to drive a load. So, let us discuss more about a SRM, switch reluctance motor. Let us consider one particular construction of 4 phase 8 pole by 6 pole SRM switch reluctance machine, 4 phase 8 pole by 6 pole switch reluctance machine. So, what does it mean? It has 4 phases and stator has 8 poles and rotor has 6 poles. So, because stator has 8 poles and 4 phases, that means 2 pole windings are connected by excited by 1 phase. So, how let us go to the construction. So, as you can see there, this is the stator which has 8 poles, and this is the rotor which has 6 poles, and because there are 4 phases in the stator. So, this is phase A and A. Let us write A dash. This is one phase only. B dash, C dash, D dash, 4 phases. So, each stator pole carries a concentrated winding as I have shown. So, A and A dash are connected because they will be excited by one phase. So, let us draw it like this. So, like this, and here as you can see, two opposite stator poles A and A dash, they have 2 windings and concentrated windings carry. So, these 2 windings constitute one phase, they are connected in series and they are given a DC supply V D as you can see here. Similarly, other poles are not shown. For B dash also carry concentrated windings connected in series and separated by same DC supply. Similarly, C and C dash also carry winding connected in series and separated by DC supply, but rotor has no winding or no permanent magnet on it. Rotor has no winding or no permanent magnet on it, only saliency is there, 6 rotor poles are there. So, let us name the number rotor poles are like this. So, this is A, this is A dash, let us write it like this, and let us write A dash, let us write like this, B dash, C dash. Okay. So, what we see in this figure? We see that the rotor pole A is close to stator pole A. There is no they are not aligned, but rotor pole A is approaching the stator pole A. So, similarly, A dash is approaching to capital A dash, rotor pole is approaching to stator pole. So, this is the right moment to energize the phase A dash from the DC supply. So, if A and A dash are connected to the DC supply by closing a switch, then a magnetic field is established along the axis of A and A dash. A and A dash becomes poles, magnets. So, a magnetic field is excited with axis is established along that axis. So, now because there is a magnetic pole, so magnetic pole along A dash, not along any other pole. So, what happens? Because the rotor pole A is close to stator pole A, there will be a magnetic pull between the stator electromagnet and the rotor pole, which is so that they will align to make the reluctance along up to the flux path minimum. So, a rotor pole A is attracted to stator pole capital A and rotor pole A dash is attracted to stator pole A dash. So, a reluctance torque is established and that makes the rotor to rotate and to align rotor pole to align A and A dash to align that. So, a torque is established. So, and the torque is established when the stator pole A and A dash are energized at the right moment, a torque is established. So, as due to the reluctance torque, alignment occurs between rotor A and stator A, rotor A dash and stator A dash. Now, when the alignment occurs, again the pole is stator phase is de-energized. So, let us say we have a switch S A here, which is energized and de-energized. So, when alignment of rotor pole occurs along the stator pole, the switch is opened, so that stator pole is de-energized. So, immediately another pole pair will be energized, so that again the rotor will rotate in the same direction. The next pair, there are four pairs like A dash, B dash, C dash, D dash, four poles, 4 pairs and 4 phases. So, after alignment of rotor pole occurs along the stator pole, immediately stator pole is de-energized by opening the switch, and another pair is energized, so that again the rotor rotates in the same direction and rotor continues to rotate. So, this is the principle, so that reluctance torque is produced all the time, and the rotor all the time will be chasing the path of minimum reluctance. So, there will be a reluctance torque and the rotor will continue to rotate at, and the speed can be controlled by varying this frequency of the switching, also speed at which the switching is occurred, and torque also can be varied by varying the DC link voltage V d. So, that current and magnetic field strength is controlled, torque is established. So, this is the principle of switch reluctance motor. So, all the 4 phases are excited sequentially and synchronously with help of rotor position encoder to get unidirectional torque. So, it is essential. So, that means along the rotor axis, along the rotor shaft, a shaft position encoder is mounted, and that rotor position information is obtained from that rotor position sensor, and that position information decides the switching on and off of corresponding phases. That is the control strategy. So, as you can see in this figure, for 6-pole rotor, rotor pole pitch is 360 by 60, that is 60 degree. So, after every 60 degree cycle repeats, because rotor pole pitch is 60 degree. After every 60 degree of omega t corresponding to 60 degree, the rotor position will be identical. So, after every 60 degree cycle repeats. So, there are 4 stator phases. So, 4 phases of stator are excited at rotor pole pitch cycle is 60 degree, and there are 4 phases. So, after every 15 degree interval, the phases are sequentially switched after every 15 degree interval. So, let us consider, you see, let us consider rotor pole angle of rotor pole equals to 18 degree. Let us degree. So, what is that? So, this angle is 18 degree. This is the angle of rotor pole span is stator no, angle of rotor pole is 18 degree. This is 18 degree. And angle between 2 consecutive rotor poles equal to if rotor pole length is 60 degree, then angle between two consecutive rotor poles is 60 minus 18, that is 42 degree, because rotor pole pitch is 60 degree. So, from here to here, you see, from here to here it is 60 degree, because this is 18 degree, this angle will be 42 degree. The figure is not up to the scale, this angle is 42 degree. So, the total angle becomes 60 degree, this is 1 to 60 degree. (61) 2 3 4 5 6, okay, 60 degree. So, this is the construction. So, now with this arrangement where the rotor pole length is 18 degree and angle between two consecutive rotor poles is 42 degree, let us see how the inductance of the system varies, rotor inductance varies with rotor angle. This is the gamma, that is the rotor angle, versus L, that is the inductance. So, let us start from here. So, this angle is 18 degree, this angle is 18 degree, and this angle will be 24 degree, slightly less. Let us write it like this. This angle will be 24 degree and this angle is one rotor pole pitch. So, this is 60 degree, this angle is 60 degree because rotor pole pitch is 60 degree and this angle is 42 degree. Variation of inductance with rotor angle. So, that means for one span of rotor angle of 18 degree, when the after the stator pole is excited, stator phase A is excited and rotor pole moves, for 18 degree angle there will be torque. So, inductance is increasing and alignment is occurring. Okay. So, after the alignment occurs, then for 18 degree inductance will decrease, for another 18 degree inductance will decrease, and for 24 degree as shown here there will be no change in inductance, inductance is the minimum value. So, that for 18 degree inductance increases and when the alignment occurs, and for 18 degree inductance decreases when disalignment occurs, inductance increases, and in between there is 24 degree there is no change in inductance and cycle repeats after 60 degree. With that, to get a torque, whether motoring torque or generating torque, how the current is established with rotor angle gamma. Rotor angle gamma versus current I, phase current I. So, you see, so this is the moment when switch is on, corresponding phase switch is switched on here. So, starting from there the current is established, current increases. So, then there will be little bit of ripple in the current, and at this point switch is up. So, again current reduces. Okay. So, during this period current inductance is increasing and current is positive. So, we get motoring torque. So, the motor drives a load, motoring torque. Now, after the switch is off, again what happens when the disalignment occurs? During that period inductance is decreasing, slope of inductance is negative, but if you establish a positive current, there will be power flow, that is a negative torque will have, because torque is proportional to slope of the inductance. So, there will be negative in torque, that means we get braking torque, or that means we can get regenerative braking action. So, this part is regenerative braking. Torque is negative. So, power is flowing from the drive to the DC source, DC source is getting charged. So, this is the regenerative braking operation. So, this is how torque is produced, and magnitude of torque that is T E equals to half of m into I square, where m is dl by d gamma, that is slope of inductance, and I is the current, I is the instantaneous current. So, as you can see, motoring torque is developed by establishing the stator current pulse when the inductance is increasing in this path, and the regenerative braking torque is developed by establishing the current when the inductance is decreasing. So, during that period of time intra current is flowing from the machine to the DC source. This current I is maintained constant by control technique that we are going to discuss. Sometimes high speed operation is also obtained. At high speed operation, the rotor induced EMF, back EMF or counter EMF is high, because speed is high, rotor counter EMF is high. So, motor current wave will be somewhat different, as you can see here. Let us take a break here, and if the speed is high, and let us see So, when the speed is high, say at this point when the inductance is when the alignment occurs, starts, switch is on. So, that the current is increasing, and just after the alignment occurs, the again current is reduced, because and after at this point switch is off. At this point it is off. So, this is the operation for high speed operation. high speed operation means high counter EMF, back EMF. So, this is the principle of operation of switch reluctance motor. What are the advantages? Advantages of SRM are simplicity of construction, robustness and low cost, as you can see. So, there is no complexity of winding, sophisticated winding, only concentrated coils are used. So, cost is less, robust also and simple. Demerits are pulsating torque and acoustic noise problem, and also they cannot carry very high loads, very high power load they cannot be used. Next we will go to the scheme of 4-phase SRM drive. This is the DC supply VD. This is A, the stator phase winding. A dash are connected in series and represented by single coil A of for phase A, and this is the IGBT QA, and this is the IGBT QA dash that are responsible for establishing current in phase A. When QA and QA dash are switched on at the same time, current is established in phase A because DC supply is applied, and when motoring torque is obtained. When phase A is to be de-energized, QA and QA dash are switched off. When they are on, QA and QA dash are on, current was flowing like this, and when QA and QA dash IGBTs are switched off, current has to flow because it is inductive circuit. So, current flows through the feedback diodes and we get regenerative braking action when by switching off A and A dash. And also we have a current sensor, we require a current sensor for controlling the for control purpose. This is the current sensor CS, which is giving the feedback current information. This is for one leaf. So, for 4 phase SRM, 4 such phases will be there. Let us draw all the phases. This is phase B. This is phase C. So each phase will have a current sensor and phase D. The phase D, current sensors are there. So, this is the 4-phase stator winding supplied by 4-phase converter using IGBT. Then this is the stator side, rotor is here, this is the rotor of SRM, and with the rotor mounted is a position sensor, rotor position sensor, which gives the angle theta r information as well also speed information for speed and position, speed control and switching of the position information is used for switching the phases and speed information is used in the control scheme. So, as you can see in this figure, a pair of opposite stator poles like A of phase A is supplied by converter phase A. This is the converter A phase, and which carries unidirectional current, as you can see here, unidirectional current, and current pulses in the phase are synchronized with the rotor position. Rotor position information is obtained and an absolute position encoder must be used, and 4 phases are supplied from a 4-phase voltage fed IGBT converter which excites the respective machine phases in sequence so as to provide unidirectional torque. Phase A is excited when by turning on the IGBTs QA and QA dash, and that happens when the rotor alignment has to occur along that phase. When the devices are turned off, the energy stored in the inductance of the phase A is flows through the feedback diodes and braking action is obtained. Let us draw the control scheme. That was the converter power circuit, and let us draw the control circuit. So, for speed control purpose, the actual motor speed omega r is compared with the reference speed. The speed error goes through a speed controller, and speed controller output has to produce the current command I star magnitude, and with that I star is the current command, we multiply a signal from decoder. So, decoder multiplies. So, what does it multiply? We have a control block. Which takes the DC link voltage information VD, speed information omega r, and magnitude of the reference current, reference stator current, and also decoder takes the rotor position information theta r, and the control block generates the angle at which it is to be switched on, theta on, and theta up. That means, this is the pulse to be provided to the decoder, and decoder gives a signal to the corresponding phase, and after multiplication of reference current, it generates the reference current for phase A, IA star. So, IA star and motor current IA is taken feedback, both are subtracted, and the current error goes through a hysteresis band PWM controller, current controller, and based on that it gives the switching pulses. Hysteresis band current control gives the pulses, switching pulses to the converter, IGBT converter phase. Similarly, we will have another multiplier which multiplies a pulse from the decoder and reference current I star and generates the current command for phase B IB star. Obviously, they will be phase shifted from each other, and IB star is compared with the actual motor current IB, and it gives signal to the hysteresis band PWM current controller. Similarly, for phase C, IC star is generated in the same way, reference current, and actual motor phase current IC is subtracted from that, and it gives pulse to the hysteresis band PWM current controller. Similarly, for phase D, the multiplication occurs and ID star is generated, and motor phase current ID is subtracted, and the error signal controls the hysteresis band PWM controller. So, this is the control scheme, and based on the feedback of phase current, feedback of the speed information, the speed controller generates the reference current, and reference current magnitude is generated. Then for each phase, when it should be on is decided by the rotor position from the rotor speed and theta r information, and accordingly theta r and this is the on off duration. On off gives the duration of the pulse, and depending upon the actual rotor position theta r, during the exact time with exact timing, the corresponding current, reference current is generated and compared with the actual phase current, and error controls the hysteresis band PWM controller. So, this is the control scheme of hysteresis band PWM current control. Thanks for attention.